Thursday, December 1st, 2016. Monaco 64, home of alternative economics and contrarian views. I'd like to do a brief summary of the WebBot report for December 2016, or the ALTA report by Clif of Half Past Human. First of all, I'd like to talk a little bit about what he does, and it's called predictive linguistics and his methods. And I read here from the report, and I quote, "Predictive linguistics is the process of using computer software to aggregate vast amounts of written text from the internet by categories delineated by emotional content of the words. Predictive linguistics uses emotional qualifiers and quantifiers expressed as numeric values for each and all words, phrases discovered, filtered in the aggregation process. Over 80% of all the words gathered will be discarded for one or more reason." So yeah, this is basically for people who haven't heard about the WebBot and Clif before, new listeners to my YouTube channel. So basically, Clif pioneered predictive linguistics in 1993, and the assumption here of predictive linguistics is that all humans are operating on a psychic level without knowing it. And so he sends these WebBots into the web, World Wide Web, or the internet, and they gather all these datas in different languages, and Clif tries to interpret the data as best as he can and make forecasts about future events. He's not right all the time, but a lot of times he is. He gets some pretty good hits, and I'll put a link below in the description to a YouTube channel that talks about all the WebBot hits before. So now I'll start talking about, summarizing the report. It's quite a long report. I recommend people go onto halfpasthuman.com and buy the report. It's $15 monthly, not a monthly rate, but it's per report, and it comes out once a month. It's a summary is just a summary, and I can't really read the whole report because that would be plagiarizing and copyright. I just try to take out the most important points. So I'll start out here. The name of the report for December, and it's forecasting for December 2016 through December 2035. So the name of the report is Divergence, and he also notes in the beginning that a long-term forecast he had in 2003-2004 is shaping up, and the forecast at the time indicated that the Dow was going to touch close to 20,000, and that would be when the financial world would come undone, as he says. So, and he also notes that once that happened, once the Dow touched 20,000 and the financial world came undone, that 4 months later silver would be hitting $125 per ounce. So that's an old forecast that he made in 03-04 about the Dow. So now I'm going to start with the earth changes. So because he talks about different things, not just markets. So he sees earthquakes changing the shape of Antarctica from 2016 through to 2017, the Southern Hemisphere summer. He sees new glaciers emerging in the next few years, but that they will melt away and that they will emerge even in tropical places. Long-term data forecasting suggesting that the main concern of humanity in the 2030s and 2040s will be glacial age, and he's seeing at the moment, a lot of data concerning oscillations in temperatures, that we're going to get new high temperatures, new all-time high temperatures, but also new all-time low temperatures. So a lot of oscillation. And he's also seeing still a lot of data showing up about sinkholes, which I talked about a few reports ago, a few months ago. And he's saying that it's becoming more and more widespread, the occurrence of sinkholes in the ALTA reports, in the data. So now I'll go on to the global population changes. And basically, this is quite interesting. He says he sees an innovation wave out of Africa, new technology out of Africa, South and Central America, and Asia. And this the innovation age is going to evolve from around next year for the next 10, 11 years until 2028. And it's going to help basically alleviate the disruption in human agriculture in the West. He sees a lot of people emigrating from the Western world, or the first world, as if you want to call it that, to Africa, Asia, and South America. So interesting there, global population changes. He says Western part of global pop will suffer massive job losses because of corporate bond debacle and the crash of globalization, or globalism. And the language in the webbot concerning, these job losses and Great Depression come in French, Hungarian, Romanian, Polish, English, Italian, Spanish, and many other languages, but not in Chinese nor Russian. Data sets showing wave of exit EU sentiment dominating politics for 2017-2008. That's for the European population, I guess. And there's also data talking about the crash of the left, or the chaos for the establishment and the captive media, the mainstream media. But not, there won't be any chaos for the population. The population will be fine. And he also notes that in the global pop changes, the political shifts are inextricably linked or intertwined with the abuse of the fiat currencies, which makes sense. Fiat currencies, we've had all the extreme monetary policy since '08 of zero interest rates, QE, money printing, buying all kinds of assets by central banks. So now I'll shift into the pop war, which is related to the European theater. And he talks a lot about secrets revealed from December 20th onward, 2016. And I'll read a little bit about the secrets revealed. I guess it's information like WikiLeaks and things like that about the establishment, corruption. So let's have a look here. So he goes on to say, and I quote, "We note that the new information is not merely about prelates behaving horribly," or priests, that mean, I guess, "nor about donations to the church being used to cultivate global pedophilia, but also the data sets are showing that core beliefs will be undone as the ruling elite are seen to panic and let slip out facts that are mind-shattering." So this is one of the themes of this report, all these secret revealed, and how the global elite loses a lot of credibility and power because of it. So now I'll move on to the Deutsche or German Pop, and he sees data pointing to economic crumbling globally as of February 2017. For Deutsche Pop, he sees defeat for Merkel in elections. Said Deutsche Pop is indicated to be stirred into a mess of failing banks, rising real interest rates, rising social costs at all levels of government. And he notes also that the data is showing population being increasingly out of control and out of the control of officialdom. So they've lost control of the population. That's what he's saying. The data is showing for the Deutsche Pop or German Pop. Let's have a look here. Ireland Pop. I'll just read a little bit about Ireland here. Brief summary. It says the data sets are showing that the Ireland Pop water wars are going to heat up over winter as the conditions deteriorate within delivery infrastructure to the point of causing displacement for lack of water. The data shows that an unseen and underground sinkhole will also be participating. So that's Ireland Pop. So Italy Pop. The main theme there is that Italy is going to be going down a new road, new territory. It will be a difficult month of January, but that in February we're going to have popping events that will precipitate new beginnings. And let's see. He also says, and I quote, other sets for Italy Pop have economic crisis leading to an encounter with the worst nightmare for bankers. This appears to be the result of an earthquake that will be felt early in the year. The data sets have Italy Pop being stressed by the damage from the earthquake to the point that regular payments, rents are not collected, just as the damage levels reach such heights as to bankrupt several large insurance companies that were carrying coverage on many of the damaged buildings. So, and he goes on to say the data sets have the nightmare besetting the Italian banks at a time when stability and liquidity are neither showing as being available. So that's the Italian Pop, Italy Pop. China Pop. So I'll just go over the most important parts of China Pop. And it says the data sets are suggesting that there will be a brief period over the first 3 months of 2017 in which Chinese property market is described as rocking the world. These sets are arguing that interest rate problems affecting central authorities globally will be impacting the property markets in differing parts of China. It says China property market sets are filling with chaos and insolvency. So, and it says here, these sets show at least a temporal connection to the great unwinding of the USA Pop real estate markets. So what else? I'll just read briefly here about the China Pop, Bitcoin, and precious metals. It says China Pop has many new areas of growth for exceptional language around both gold and silver. The sets have cross-links over to the Bitcoin sets. The Bitcoin sets are indicating that a consortium of Chinese and Russian business interests is, or probably has already, formed with the intent of asserting influence on the directions taken relative to Bitcoin evolution. And it says as well, the China Pop relationship with gold and silver are indicated to be reinforced by the currency's problems of 2017. So that's China Pop. So now we'll go into the UK Pop. And just summary here. It says the data sets for UK pop have the housing bubble popping in London acting as a proximate cause for the revealing that is not on the up and up, even when we are talking underground housing. The data sets are also suggesting that either tax collections or some form of civil monetary authorities in London will stumble across a scheme criminal of such fantastic brilliance as to captivate UK minds for months. There's not much more detail about this. The other thing it says is UK pop data sets are indicating that the shite is hitting the fan over pedophiles in power, as a large proportion of British governance is based around pedophilia associations. The impacts of various spin-off investigations from Pizzagate is indicated to be very impacting of British ruling elites. So that's coming from the webbot, not me. So USA pop is very long, but I'll read the parts that I think are fairly important. I really recommend people, purchase the ALTA report or the webbot report. So it says USA pop, and I quote, "As model space has moved through 2017, it becomes instantly apparent that the first 4 months will be feeling just as they are being described as firecracker months," basically fireworks going off. These sets are suggesting that over the first quarter of 2017, the entire global pop will be reeling from the energies being manifest within humanity. It is also instantly obvious from model space that USA pop is going to be at the center of the firecrack storm over these next few years, starting off in 2017 with more than a lit fuse. Just one more part of the USA pop that I think is important. It says the data sets are now dominated by the accretion of masses of new sets for this period of 2017 that are going to a new form of economic confusion here in USA pop. This new form of confusion includes some interesting language around precious metals and bitcoins that includes sets for windfall tax on excessive gains that will be floating about later in 2017. It says the data sets are also noting that after the tax revolt language and the popular actions around April 15th, the language of excessive gains windfall tax is not very emotionally laden. So that's a USA pop. Let's see if there's anything else here. I mean, it's very long, so I really recommend that people, if you want to know more, you purchase the report. Let's see. So basically, the main thing about USA pop, he says, data sets are bringing up language of awareness and questioning and shocking ideas that are going to be soaking through the population throughout 2017 and 2018. And it says these sets are going to the idea of the population becoming aware of their own ideas as being outdated and obsolete. So now we go into the markets part of the report. The main thing he says in this markets section is that the data set is showing hugely disruptive, that's the data set, nature appearing from about December 26, 2016 onward. So hugely disruptive events in the markets. He says as well here, let's have a look. Other languages that appear around 29th of December as model spaces moved in 2017 includes odious and breaking free and dissolving constraints. Further sets are describing business models that will be breaking down with a large amount of language that appears in late December. And another part of the report that I think is important and relevant says the third week in December, as model spaces move through it, picks up a number of sets for practical response and wise application of resources and thinking it through and contemplating angles, along with many other sets in the same vein, all suggesting that the events of earlier within the month are causing very large portion of the business world, especially the financial banking component, to be considering the future in ways not so done in 2016. What else? He says the rising emotional tones of the sound money sets are exempted from the following discussion of the bond markets. The bond market data is very dark in that the emotional tones are negative and at the extreme end of the scale. So yeah, that's it for the markets. And then just look at his summary of the report, his conclusion, the discovery. He talks about stuff that is quite strange, but it is part of the report. He says, our data has brought up a picture of ourselves at a crossroads of discovery of ourselves as a pan-global civilization. Curiously, within the data, we also find that just as we're going to run into ourselves in this new image of humanity, we're also going to run into the remnants of a previous pan-global civilization. So he talks about something to do with Antarctica. There's the data set shows a lot of stuff to do with Antarctica, and he mentions how John Kerry was in Antarctica during the U.S. elections. So that's the WebBot report for December 2016. If you enjoy my video, please give me a thumbs up, share it, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do. If you'd like to donate to my channel, there's some links in the description below. Take care, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.